Hello, wealthy family, and welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for coming and sharing some time with me. I love and appreciate you all. So, my memories run out, my batteries died. I changed the topics. This is video number 4. All right. So, um, at first I was going to talk about why certain people can't manifest things, but instead I kind of want to talk about death. I've had 2 clients that I've spoken to this week alone who had a family member transition, and they didn't feel any type of remorse or emotional response. You hear my cat. And the same with me. I had my grandfather, my paternal grandfather, passed away on the 23rd, and I've only met him a couple times. He left the family in Jamaica and started another life, and just went around doing various different things. And I never really had a relationship with him. And now, with his passing and his funeral coming up, I'm like, I'm not going to that, right? I have other things going on with my personal family. And I'm so grateful that Spirit showed me a long time ago that it's okay to not feel obligated to have emotional responses or to do certain things just because someone has the title of a family member, a parent or grandparent or aunt or cousin. Okay, it's okay to not feel remorse for someone that you didn't really know, or if you didn't have an emotional connection with them in this life while they were living. You don't have to mourn them when they've passed. That's not an obligation. Like, get out that mentality. It's okay. At the end of the day, I'm going to tell you a secret. At the end of the day, when we leave this physical body and we return back to our beautiful, pure essence of spiritual energy signatures, we're all going to the same freaking space. It doesn't matter. We are all part of the same spark. So you'll be able to connect with that spirit again. And a lot of the times, when you have family members, people that are siblings, that are cousins, aunts, uncles, etc., you probably had other life cycles with them, and you've probably created a lot of karma with them as well. And sometimes when you don't know a family member, or you came through a bloodline and then was removed through that bloodline, so you were adopted or you became a foster child or anything like that, it's because some of the energy that that family line had, you weren't even supposed to be mixed up with that. You were just using them as a vessel to come into this realm because you had something to do. Your spirit was desperate, and he was like, how can I get to the earthly plane? The only way you're getting on this earthly plane is through a womb, through the natural womb man. That's the only way you're coming in. Okay, not despite what science is trying to do and what these humans call themselves trying to do, transplant certain stuff. You can only come through a natural biological womb. That's the only way you're entering here, unless you're one of these spirits that know how to jump bodies and connect through a fragment to other people's spirit and essence. But that also requires a certain bloodline. Okay, so 98% of the people here, of the spirit beings here, maybe 95, no, anywhere between 95 and 98, they have to come through a womb. They have to come through. You have to be born. And sometimes you just needed that vessel. So racking your brain and holding on to guilt because you don't feel any remorse that your parents died or your grandparents died, or you're adopted, you don't know your family, what's your lineage, and you're letting it consume so much of you. No, that is not 75% of the time. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Because if you're on this journey of spirituality, most of the time your family is so fucked up, and you're here to help clear and raise the vibration of humanity and community, and you don't need anyone either. You don't need anyone to do that. You're probably a black sheep and half your family doesn't even talk to you. Okay, so stop racking your brain on trying to see why you don't have a response, or are you a bad person because you didn't cry because the person that gave birth to you or the person that helped facilitate your life here passed on. No, Give gratitude and thanks for them playing their role in the family lineage, allowing you to come through in the manner in which you did, and then keep it pushing. And that's not callous. That's not callous. That's not mean. Like I said, Spirit showed me many moons ago, showed me how different lineages are just here to facilitate the expansion of humanity. The calls of so many souls came through, and they're like, okay, if this is how to come through, this is it. And you're given a book where you're not given, but you're shown a book of different life cycles, different scenarios, and you're like, okay, well, my soul needs to come through someone that has experienced drugs so that I can grow and elevate based off my other life cycles, so I can learn this lesson, so I can, rise to the occasion. So my next life cycles, I've cleared and canceled certain karma, I've turned it into dharma, and now everything is righteous. Okay? So don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. Don't rack your brain because you don't know your family, or you don't have your family, or everyone has passed and now here you are. Quite frankly, you're probably doing a justice. You're probably doing things way better, way easier. You're having a clear, concise pathway of getting things done on your own. On your own. On your own. And those spirits that have passed on, that are in your lineage, can help you even more on the spirit side. You can tap into them. Just because you're not in the physical doesn't mean that you can't tap in. Now, I don't recommend that if you have had relatives that were, unrighteous and malicious in this physical, and then they transition, that you now start connecting with them and put them on your altar. If they were a serial killer, or they were an abuser of any sort, or a robber, if they had very low vibration, in the spirit realm, they can still be on that low frequency, right? Because just because you pass or you transition, that doesn't mean that you're now all love and light. No, there's people that are still stuck in the unrighteous indignation of their behaviors. And if you connect with them and connect with that spirit, then you're quite literally taking on some of those behaviors. That's why some of these individuals who want to do very unrighteous things, who like to abuse children, who like to practice cannibalism, who like to who like to assault people sexually, they'll invoke some of these darker energies, right? They exist. They exist. We need them to exist. It's a balance in everything. Everything is a balance. Okay? We got to pull ourselves out of this linear way of thinking and start thinking in interdimensional ways. Okay? But I just wanted to share that with you because, I'm going to send flowers, and I'll jump on the Zoom and see who my people are. But this Western way of celebrating life of transition is crazy, right? I told my family, when I die, one, I want to be cremated or bury me in a tree. Okay? Do not put me in a casket. Do not put me in the ground. Cremate me or put me in a tree. I already have some of my living DNA essence in tuned in things that I need, right, to help me as I transition my spirit. I want people to wear white or purple, okay? And we're going to have a party, all right? We're going to have a party because I want to be celebrated. I need you all to lift my spirit up. While I'm living, I'm burning ancestor money for myself, clearing out certain debts and certain karmic energies. So there's not too much that anyone else has to do because I don't see anyone else powerful like me in my family line. But shit, I told them, burn some ancestor money for me at my funeral. Do not mourn me. Do not cry for me. Okay? Send me up. It's up. It's up. Okay? Help me raise the vibration. And that's really what we should be doing. Okay, there's a lot of cultures that do that. They celebrate their dead, they wash their dead, they, give them gifts and food and offerings. But here in the West, it's wear black and be sad. Seeing these old spirituals that invoke such a deep emotional turmoil response. No, none of that. None of that. Okay? So that is that. That's all I have for you today, wealthy family. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I know this topic y'all might be like, what the actual fuck? Is not as crazy as when I told you all to write your own obituary and then spend the rest of your life living up to it. And I do still stand firmly on that, right? Every couple years, go ahead and tweak that thing, but write your own obituary and spend the rest of your life living up to it, because one thing that is guaranteed to all of us is death. All right. I love you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Until we connect again, stay alert, stay aware, and live in love.